APEX Media is at APEX Multimedia Market in Dublin this week, and I'm joined now by Neil James from Signal Lamp. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you very much.
This is not your first TV market, is it?
This is the first one I've been an exhibitor at, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about Signal Lamp and how you came to become involved with that outfit.
So 11 and a half years of working with Panasonic, and before that with Rockwell and Sony. And I've always had this passion for the content side of the business. We used to say it in previous companies that the IFE systems are the plate and the content is the food. So it's interesting to be highly focused on the actual experience for the passenger through the content.
Mm-hmm. And so for Signal Lamp, this is the first time exhibiting at Multimedia Market. Why do you feel like it's important, or this is a relevant event for you?
There's two sides to our business. There's the technology side, which is associated with advertising and then content distribution. And then the second side is the entertainment side. And it's nice to be able to separate those two conversations when we're at Aircraft Interiors or the APEX Expo. It's great to get into a lot of detail with IFE, OEMs about the technology and everything else, but rarely do you get a chance to talk just about the content. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to be able to be kind of surgical about just talking about the entertainment here and the content itself.
I'm actually going to ask you a little bit about the technology now, just out of curiosity. We'll come back to the content.
Okay.
But can you talk a little bit about how you're shaking things up with distribution models and the advertising platform as well?
Yeah, I think on the distribution side, one of the reasons that I joined Signal Lamp was David Villarreal, who's the founder of the company, and I worked together 16, 17 years ago, and we're talking about how can we take this content integration process and just make it go away. There's been a lot of presentations given over the years in WAEA and then APEX around it's a non-value added thing, and yet we haven't really moved on. Mm-hmm. And I think most airlines feel if you look at the total spend they have on what they call content in their budget, 30 to 35% of that is actually non-value added technical stuff that just needs to go away. Mm-hmm. Content needs to get there faster, it needs to get there more cost effectively so that the content creator gets more of the money for license fees, and the exhibitor, the airline, can put more content on board and get rid of all those non-value added steps in the middle. So our goal, working with the content that the content owners that we represent, is to be able to go from the origin of the file to onboard the aircraft with as few steps as possible, fast and cost effective.
How's that working out?
I mean, the response from the airlines is great. It's a matter of working with all the OEMs to make sure that they'll be supportive and a willing partner in that. Yeah. And there's a little bit of a conflict with CSPs who've established themselves as labs and are looking to make that into a profit center. But I think the groundswell is towards everybody recognizing content's got to get there faster, and more of the money's got to flow to the content creator and less to the middleware, which doesn't add any value.
All right. Okay, let's get back to the content creators now. You guys are doing something really special with esports and online gaming. Now, the IFE systems and the connectivity on board are not to the point where we're actually looking to bring those games, the live gaming experience on board, but the content generated by this massive sort of subculture is quite popular.
Yeah, there's 1.6 billion gamers in the world. And 740 or so million of those consume content of other people playing video games. Yeah. And what's happening now in the esports world is those are growing into professional leagues. Uh-huh. So we have a contract with Activision Blizzard to be their exclusive distributor into the travel markets of all of their content. They produce about 6,500 hours of content a year, of live, VOD, a tremendous amount of content. And what we're finding is that games like Overwatch are truly spectator sports. Twice as many people watch the Overwatch League as play the game. So it's truly turning into a spectator sport. And in our industry, generally, there's only a couple of airlines that have ever really carried any esports-related content. And the most amazing part is the alignment between the demographic of the gamer and esports fan and the airlines' emerging high-value passengers, the millennials. It's almost a one-to-one. It's the cord cutters who are hard to reach with traditional forms of media, relatively high income, high education, travel a lot, and have a tremendous interest in brands that are associated with games that they love. So there's a huge opportunity for brands to be able to be associated with esports, specifically from our perspective with Blizzard, because it's a very loyal fan base who are very loyal to brands associated with Blizzard.
Right. Okay, so let's boil it down, I guess, to what your message is to the people here that you're looking to do business with. If you could nutshell it, what's the opportunity here that you're trying to share with everyone?
It's a massive opportunity for the airlines to entertain and create a brand association with those 1.6 billion fans who are invariably very loyal to the games that they play and the esports that they follow.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Neil.
Thanks very much.